Welcome to Real Talk with Reginald D's motivational coaching question and answer segment. I'm your life and motivational coach, Reginald D. I'm here to answer any questions you may have about your journey toward personal growth, fulfillment, and success. In today's episode, we will be talking about setting boundaries and reclaiming control over our lives. Now, let's address today's question, which comes from a listener. The listener says, Reginald D., I often find myself feeling overwhelmed and drained by certain people in my life who seem to have no respect for my boundaries. How can I set boundaries effectively without feeling guilty or causing conflict? First, I would like to thank you for sharing your question with us, since this is such an important topic, something I personally dealt with. Setting boundaries for yourself is needed for self-care and is important for maintaining healthy relationships and your well-being. One thing you must realize is that the boundaries you set for yourself will serve as an invisible line that will outline your personal space, needs, and values. You have to understand that. Boundaries play a crucial role in maintaining healthy connections, but many people struggle to establish and enforce their boundaries. The reason we establish boundaries is to safeguard our physical, emotional, and mental health, which are the limits for ourselves. Setting boundaries enables us to communicate your needs and limits effectively. It minimizes the likelihood of cross boundaries and the resulting tension or conflict. It also enables us to assert our needs and values confidently and ultimately cultivating a strong sense of self-worth. Now, I'm going to give you some actionable approaches to assist you in establishing and upholding healthy boundaries in your life. First, it's essential to know yourself by reflecting on your values, your needs, and limitations. This self-understanding lays the groundwork for effectively communicating your boundaries to others. You must employ clear and assertive communication using I statements to impress your needs and preferences directly. Specify behaviors or actions that cross your boundaries. Then set limits around your time and energy. Learn to decline requests that exceed your capacity or contradict your values without feeling guilty. Now, I've been there before. I had to set boundaries in my life. I had so many people coming to me with so much stuff that I couldn't really do anything about. So I had to set boundaries for them because it was burning me out with my time, burning me out with my energy, and all this stuff. When it's time to uphold your boundaries, you must stay faithful to what you set and avoid hesitating or exceptions that undermine them, even in the face of resistance or pushback. In addition to the practical strategies, practicing self-care is crucial. Make self-care a priority by dedicating time to activities that nurture your physical, emotional, and mental well-being. You got to remember that. Setting boundaries demands courage and self-compassion. It's essential to replenish your energy reserves regularly. Seeking support is also vital. Surround yourself with understanding individuals who respect and validate your boundaries. Now, in the scripture, Proverbs 4th chapter, 23rd verse says, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Whether it's leaning on friends, family members, or seeking guidance from a therapist, having a support system can provide encouragement as you navigate the boundary setting process. Now, let's dive into some strategies to effectively and assertively set and maintain your boundaries. First, you must identify your personal boundaries. Determine the limits necessary for feeling safe, respected, and valued in your relationships. Clearly outline what behaviors or actions are acceptable and unacceptable to you before communicating them to others. Then you must communicate your boundaries clearly and assertively. And once again, stay firm and consistent in enforcing your boundaries without hesitation or apologizing. Even in the face of resistance or guilt tripping, remember, setting boundaries is an act of self-respect, not selfishness. Now you need to practice self-compassion throughout the boundary setting process, acknowledging any discomfort or guilt and reminding yourself that your well-being matters. Also, you need to be prepared for consequences for repeated boundary violations, such as limiting contact or seeking professional help if necessary. Your boundaries are non-negotiable, and prioritizing your well-being is of the utmost importance. When you set clear boundaries, you will be preventing misunderstandings, conflicts, and resentment in your relationship. Remember, when you communicate your needs and limits effectively, it minimizes the likelihood of cross boundaries and the resulting tension or conflict. Now, for your challenge this week, I want you to identify one specific boundary you need to set in your life. Write it down and practice communicating it assertively to the person involved. If you notice any discomfort or resistance that arises, remind yourself that setting boundaries is an act of self-care and empowerment. And remember that setting boundaries is not controlling or manipulating others. It's about honoring your own needs and creating space for a healthy, fulfilling relationship. By setting boundaries effectively, you'll reclaim control over your life and cultivate deeper respect and harmony in your relationships. By understanding the significance of boundaries and implementing practical strategies for setting and maintaining them, you will empower yourself to create fulfilling connections and lead a life aligned with your values and aspirations. Remember, boundaries are not barriers to intimacy, but gateways to authentic connection and self-empowerment. To my listener, thank you for your question, and I truly hope it helps you and any other listener who may be struggling with setting personal boundaries. Now, don't forget to send your questions to me via email at rsherman@realtalkwithreginald.com or visit my website at realtalkwithreginald.com and instant message me on the website, or you can just send a message on there as well. Or you can even message me on my social media pages. Just search for Real Talk with Reginald D. And do me a favor, make sure you share this episode with your family and friends, and don't forget to subscribe to the show so you can receive alerts every Tuesday and Thursday when new episodes are published. I know it's a lot of information, but if you just go to realtalkwithreginald.com and explore my website, you will find everything you need there. By the way, you'll be able to find all the links in the show notes as well. That's all for today's episode, fam. I hope you find this episode insightful. Now I need you to take the first step towards becoming the best version of yourself and preserve your well-being and nurture your personal growth. As always, thank you for tuning in, and until next time, let's empower ourselves to set boundaries that honor our worth and lead to greater peace and fulfillment. See you next time.